Thank you. I am Rising Phoenix Aurora. Go to my website, risingphoenixaurora.com, for more information where I offer past life regression, Reiki sessions, as well as Akashic readings. So go sign up with me and book a session with me. Love to meet you, as well as come sign up to our retreats. Next retreat is in Grand Canyon, Sedona. I am known as a galactic historian, spiritual revolutionist, and I speak of what sometimes we can't figure out until we put these episodes together for you all. You can find over 700 videos and content all over all my platforms. I am everywhere: YouTube, Rumble, TikTok. So love to see you there in all these different platforms, and make sure that you purchase our books, which is Rising Phoenix Aurora, author Rising Phoenix Aurora, and then book 1 and book 2, both in Amazon and Barnes and Noble. So go check that out. That tells the universe the memory of the collective consciousness on how this earth is like this, the universe, how does this work. So yeah, come figure it all out. It's quite amazing. And then join our retreats. Our workshop, next one, like I said, is in Sedona, Grand Canyon, and that is in August, Lionsgate actually time. So August 10th specifically for all the new practitioners. Come learn how to walk your most organic timeline and step yourself out of the inverted matrix. Really understand the world of the divine being that you are. So no more allowing the entities, the dark inverted, to try to control your world. You become the sovereign being, divine creator of your dreams, of your aspirations, because you learn how to basically entity removal and tell them how to not consent. Because this is what this video is about. Because I mean, who caused the world war erased? It's those dark entities, aliens, that have been messing with creation. So thank you for being here. And this specific earth is very unique, where that's where you want to go, read my books, and then read and then check out the other contents. I have several series going on. This is part of the Antarctica Tartaria series. If you have not watched part 1 to this video, I suggest that you do stop the video and go back to part 1, because this is a continuance. You're not going to understand everything unless you watch part 1, because we really explain in part 1 the world war erased and how that happened. So that's why you want to go and watch that. Okay. Because we are going to, every video we do our best. Our goal is to talk about new content, so we're not going to repeat that. So go back and watch part 1. So yes, come join me. Come. I'm going to keep my website on sale for 13% off. So yeah, I will announce that after I'm done here. So before we get started, we're about to get started. Add your questions here in chat, live chat. We have Gina, who is supervising. And so add your questions there, and I'll get to all of them. I typically do every video. I'm here live every Friday, and we never know exactly what we're going to do, but we do know that it's going to be gigantic, beautiful, infinite, and it's going to be transforming in a catalyzing way that it just really expands our heart and expands our consciousness. So make sure you don't miss us here every Friday, 1 p.m. Central Time, okay? All right, so I want to say that I am too sovereign, don't even bother. No, really. Keep your entities to yourself. If you're a hater or a troll, don't bother. It'll be yours to transmute. And that is all, because I don't consent. All right, beautiful. So we'll start it off with a song. We usually do. Here we go. And just going to dance for a minute here. Wow. Let's go. Come on, y'all. Bring the frequency up. Love yourself. Love yourself. Love you, love. All right, let's get started. Thank you. Wow, you all. Oh my goodness. So yes, huge. Well, all we talked about, I was, I am in constant channels, so in the different brainwaves, and I'm often in the theta. So I went back to listen to the beginning portion of the video, and I'll continue to listen to it. But of part one, wow. I don't know how you all we do it, but every video gets better and better and more expansive. Incredible. So we were here almost 2 hours last time. I have, goodness, at least 20 maps loaded here that I found in the Library of Congress official database. And we're going to go into some of the teachings that we've been talking about, and the proof of what we've been talking about, but also just really understanding in the biggest ways of the amazingness that we are as a human collective. And how much we grow in technologies, or just really human evolution, like the buildings and all the different beauties that we've been talking about since the fall of Atlantis. I'm going to reference you to other videos that you can watch, which we will add the links later, so that you can watch those as well, because alone, say, part one to this was almost 2 hours. Okay, so here we go. Whoa, you all. The more and more that we go into this is just incredible. So we're going to start it off. So we're going to be really going over a lot of maps. So again, this time around, we're going to be speaking about Africa. And then in part two, we're going to go in and we're going to channel and remote view Genghis Khan, Asia, Mongolia, what happened to those people, and what's true and what's not true. There's a lot of false information about him, and it's quite incredible to be able to speak about that in part three. So part three to this already gigantic series of Antarctica Tartaria series. Okay, so here we go. Let's get started. So I'm going to be sharing with you the information. All right. So in the last video, summary, right? We talked about inner earth beings that were there. They were gigantic. This African, community is very tall. I mean, you see them in the NBA players, right? They're like NBA players. I mean, they're 7. I mean, there's people on Earth that are even up to 8 feet. So, all right. Okay. So we also, we started understanding who were these beings and their beauty. All right. So now we're going to go to other parts of Africa that are needed to be spoken of, because we really started speaking about the Sahara Desert, and I showed you that map, which I'm going to talk to you a minute about it more. And then we're also going to really go into South Africa this time around, and which is just a small portion in Africa, and the Kalahari Desert. Okay, wow, you all are ready? Get ready. Here we go. Here we're embarking again on sail, you all, as the sailors we are to our divine life. And yeah, go sign up to my newsletters. Everything that I'm talking about, I'm going to talk about. I have a new in my newsletter. I'm going to write an article about the water. That's really important soon in the next upcoming weeks. So make sure you sign up to the newsletter so you get all that under my site, risingphoenixaurora.com. Okay, so here we go. Let's go into it. All right. So here's the map that we started to discover, and we realized that, wait a minute, in 1504, right? There wasn't a desert there in the Sahara. There was a civilization, Tartarian civilization, if that's what you want to call it. But I mean, it's really the civilization that all that we're seeing is basically after Atlantis. Okay, so what came after? So these beings all over Earth, who stayed positive, who stayed negative, who became corrupted by the virus, the artificial intelligence. Okay, so let's look at this. There's just a couple of things that I want to show you, because I know we already talked about it last time. Look at this, you all. This is a perfect circle. A perfect circle around Africa. Now, in the first video, part one, we started talking about what do these mean? And we understand now that there are 16 sacred directions, 16 sacred winds. And they're in all the ancient maps that you can find. Look at this beautiful line here. All right. And then these are all different names. So it seems like names of royals or leaders. Okay. All right. So at the center of all these portals here, and these are stellar gateways, portals of energy that you can go in different directions. So like if you're a sailor here and you're like over here and you're like moving kind of slow and you're like, I feel some of these could actually teleport you from one to another, if you directed your ship according to that direction, is what they're showing me here. And I'm looking at a sailor right now in those times, okay? And say they're right here. And they come to this here star point, which the sailors all know about, and then they direct themselves, and they could either transport to another. So let's look at this. Okay, so if we look at here, do you see how this, there is a direct line that goes here to here? You see that? This one goes here to here. So that's a form that you could directly link yourself from this, teleport from this to here. And we showed you portals. We've been talking about all this stuff, right? Okay, so there's another form though that you could do, is like it's a wind, a very fast wind that you could ride and it would speed you up. Okay, so a little more on that. And it's so powerful and interesting that there is a complete circle around Africa. Right? Look at that. And then some parts of Asia there. Okay, so this here, I'm going to that a little more. So at the center of Africa, so what they're showing me is that this is a stellar gateway. Basically, you could come out of Earth at those times and spaces. And I'm going to show you maps where I found actual stellar gateways. Okay, so but here, this was basically, these portals just transport you from points on Earth. Okay, you see, understand these 16 directions, but this one transports you out into the stars. But I mean, you'd have to be a matching vibration to do that, which would be a benevolent being, though. And the rings. So this is a literal. Oh my God, you all. So this is a literal transportation out from this Earth into the universe. What? Okay, so we have different astrology signs there and different rings, and that are telling you that you're transporting out. And there's again the star, and see how it's, look at that. So that's Africa. That's Africa. So it's telling you within Africa, there's another portal inside of Africa that can transport you out. I mean, I completely makes sense with everything we've been talking about. We know, like, all the different pyramids a lot of them are basically calibrated and built directly to the speed of light. So this whole world that we're in, right, as we descended down, as we talked about in part 1, from the 5th to the 4th to the 3rd dimension, is just a completely different world, right? So wow. Okay, so it's like it's a map within the map of Africa, another map inside of Africa. Wow, that's incredible. Okay, and then yeah, so we're going to talk about this whole Mongolia next one, so don't miss that one, you all. Check it out. We never know what we're going to be channeling every Friday, but we know we'll be here with different content. So this is another map that I don't believe I showed you, no, from 1502. So that one was right from 1504, 1502. I feel like this one's a little later. I feel like their dates are wrong, is what I'm being shown here. Of course, always embodied by a source of light. Only love light may be communicated here. Okay, so I wanted to show you all. This is pretty interesting here. Let me get it the right way. Look at that. So that is in the lower areas of Africa. So what would that be? Let me see. Oh, it's upside down. So It's near South Africa. So it's the bottom portion. And it's actually, this is the Kalahara Desert right here, you all. And I'm going to show you a video about that. Okay. So there's a whole, I mean, there's something, there's a civilization here. That's here. Okay. And these look like basically representations to emperors. These are emperors. Most likely they were more positive then. And yeah, back to this map. Remember how we talked about here, how the Kalahara Desert, I mean the Sahara Desert was like what? A whole civilization, right? Okay, so now we're going a little more here. And then so basically they're depicting some of the say rulers. Look at that, that's beautiful. There's a female and a male here. Another female here. Wow. Which I've been looking at maps and I haven't been able to find females. So this is really amazing that there's a female here. I mean, unless it's a male that looks like a female. But anyways, could be. Let me see. This is definitely a female here. Maybe it is a male. Okay, so yes, so that's so beautiful that you have rulers there as equals because they drew them as that, which means that they're equals, because otherwise they would just put the male there. Then you got some lions here. Okay, so we're looking at Africa upside down, because that's how they drew it. Okay. Another one of those portals. So these are all different artists. It's faded, but we can see another ruler there. So let me figure out who's that female and male there next to. And this was a bit creepy. I mean, this island here apparently eats each other. Look at that. Oh, good. Yeah, gross. So cannibalists there. Wonder what. So let's look at it the other way. What trying to get it the right way again. Oh, there we go. Okay, what is that, you all, right there? So if we were to look at a regular map, let's see, Google Maps of Africa. Let me try to load that for you all. Let's see, what is that? All right. Let me find the map. Does it show that? So is that? It's to the left of Africa. And it's like an island. It's not on the map, you all. Okay, so let's look at an African map right now. And that looks pretty big there. It's like right here, right? So let's look at it again. I feel like there's something important about that. Not that one. Is it that one? No, this one. Okay, so it's right here. See that? That's a big body of water. But when you look here, there's nothing there. Oh, it's definitely cloaked. What are they doing there? I think we've just found a land that is cloaked by, and I feel like something dark is happening there. Because, I mean, this is a little tiny island. Okay, well, you all can search that some more in your, I know Google Earth is a good place to look at. But I know it's not really showing us so much, and I know there's islands all over the place. All right, so that's a good thing. Well, not a good thing, but yeah. So I'm gonna try to go as quick as I can, but I'm basically going to point out what I need to point out to you all as we're looking at these maps. So this feels like this is. But back to here, right? So where were the oh, right here. The queen and king right here, right? So let's look at that map again. So that would be, it's hard to tell these maps. That's here. What is that? Spain, Portugal. Oh, wow. That's beautiful. Yeah, oh, that was Spain. Wow, but we'll talk more about that later. I feel like there's something important. I need to get back to that. Make a note, Gina. Why was there a female and male there in Spain? All right, so that's what I really wanted to point about this map. Okay. What is this? All right, let's look at another map here. Okay, so all right, so this map is from 1536. What was very beautiful and interesting here was Africa and these rivers, lakes, these rivers that run into these pyramids, mountains that I wanted to point out to this one. We're gonna move as fast as we can. It looks like this is already the Genghis Khan China wall already happening. Well, not really China, Genghis Khan wall, 1536. Because he's still, we'll let him talk about it next time. Okay, let me see if there's anything else I want to point out here. Yeah, we'll talk about, we're going to talk about South America later. Okay. So I just thought this was a pretty cool map to show you guys. Okay. So yeah, you have all these different artists from back then that are making all these different maps. So that's very interesting. Yeah, I found I found a map for the Antarcticas, which I don't know if we're gonna get to cover that today, but like the islands of the outskirts. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna keep going here. We might have to cover that next time. All right, so next tab. Okay, so look at this, you all. So this is a general atlas of all the islands in the world, and we're looking at hundreds, and they call them islands. This also goes into like the details of the stars of that we're talking about. It is quite amazing, y'all. So it's 111 maps representing all the islands and peninsulas of the world. So this entire world, showing all the discoveries made by the European explorers from 1400 to mid 1600. Okay, so this is from 1539. So right around when Nostradamus was basically, I channel him, part 1 and part 2. Incredible, check that out as well. And yeah, so right around that time. So let's see, because I obviously can't go through all these guys in one video, and we still have all these tabs here that you see here at the top that we are, but this is a book, an atlas of map atlas. Okay, and there's a couple things that I wanted to point out. So it's interesting, like, how did they map all this? How did they do this? Okay, wait till I show you. Okay, so let's just look at the front cover of this. Pretty beautiful. Okay, let's go back. I'm trying to see what else do I have here loaded. Is this all these maps? Okay, I think those are different. All right. Okay, so I am going to just kind of like intuitively go into some of these pages that I think we should look at. And what is language? Is this Latin? Latin, I can understand Latin pretty good. Spanish. Oh, Spanish. Even better. Okay, so let's look at that. So this looks like that similar one that was in Africa, that was a stellar gateway. So what's interesting is that they're showing me here. So here's the sun, right? Here's the sun and the moon. I gotta figure this out. Hold on. Let me listen to the angels and source, divine mother and father. Because why do they have them like that in rings? I feel like these represent dimensions. Dimensions from different realms and dimensions and rings that you would orbit when you're, say, traveling out from the earth. Okay, so it's interesting though, because we are in a simulation, because in the third dimension it is a simulation, a matrix simulation, simulation, which you can watch remote viewing matrix simulation to understand that. Saturn. Just haven't there, but it is 10 locations here of rings. And Earth is here. And it says that the sun is the Earth, y'all. Look at this. This is Earth right here, they said. Okay. And with this, and the sun is with the Earth. There we go. And here's a proof of the firmament here, because this is the Earth in the sun. Okay. Now when we come orbit out from the sun and the Earth with it, the moon is orbiting with us as well here, then you know, can go to, what do they call it? Mercurial? Mercure? That's Mercury. No, is that a planet? I don't know, but Venus. Okay. All right. Oh my goodness. So there we go. Wow, it's just incredible. So what this image is telling us is, so I'm going to talk to Nostradamus. Nostradamus, help me out here. So what he's saying is, so there's the proof, if we needed to know it, about the sun being in the same orbit of Earth. It's not, say, whatever millions and trillions of light years away. It's actually here. It's one and the same. So what he's saying is that they're parallel to each other. You see that? Earth and sun parallel to each other. And then the moon orbits around us. Okay, thank you, Nostradamus. What else do you want to tell us about this? So he says, so far, yeah, I got the dimensions. That's accurate. Going out. So the further out, the higher the dimension of the planets. So, okay. So when you're stellar traveling, he says, you would have to go from, okay, so time travel, he's explaining here, he says, from beyond the veil. So we're here, right? We're here on Earth. So these spaces where they're stellar gateways, where I'm saying that basically universal gateways, in order to get to Mercury, so Mercurio, in this example, which is a star planet, they call it planet, but it's star. Okay, so you're out through there, but to get to, say, from here to Saturn, you have to go through all these levels of transportation. It doesn't mean that's going to take you longer. It just means that you have to jump from one point to the other, but you have to go through them, and you just go through them, you know, within not even seconds. It's just instant time travel. It's like a dial. Oh, that's what he's showing me. So now Nikola Tesla stepping into, because we've channeled him as well. You can find that under Patreon, Rising Phoenix AuroRa. Okay, so he's okay. So Tesla's saying that these are channels, and these symbols are representing the different channels that you can reach. each of these location. So it's just like a channel, like like the old TVs, you would turn the knob, Tesla's saying, and then you just go in at the stellar gateways, which I'm going to show you what it look like because I found proof, you all, of what we were talking about. Okay, all right. So that's just one page, you all. But I mean, all right, let's see how far we can get here. Okay, so that's just one page. All right, intuitively. What else? What else? What else? You all. Let's check out this image. All right. So interesting. So both of these are polar Arthros, so they're basically the poles, and they're both the same. Okay, so there's no sort north south, it's the same, it says here through this example. All right, I'm just going to keep talking to Tesla and Nostradamus to fill in what I need to understand. Okay, and then it talks about, so this could be looked at like kind of like the Milky Way and the constellations at the center of the Milky Way, because these are all the astrology symbols. So this is telling us the different directions of energy, gateways, energies, access points. Los cuatro, let me see what it says here. Demostración de la espera. Oh, so our Earth, it says here. So this is an example of our Earth, how it works, it says. Okay. Los cuatro círculos. Cuatro, which they're saying is four directions. Quatsilismos no se sobre dispes de toda la espera. Momento llamadas por los latinos zonas queen castellano. Oh, Spaniard. Okay, so that's that one queen, I believe, because they're talking about a queen. Los latinos zonas queen castellano Lugnan Cintas. That's her name. Okay. Con la laguna de la Spanish is like ancient Spanish. It's not the current Spanish, but I could still translate it. Cada cicula. Yeah, so it's literally just, they're explaining what I just explained about the orbiting energies around Earth. Vecino hasta del mismo polo y it just, oh my god, el sasta del mismo polo is what? Okay, I have not read these, but this is what this just said, that they're exact poles, basically what I just said. Okay, del Antártico, so Antarctica o hasta su polo antas Tastico y estas dos de los mismos círculos, so same circles hasta los trocicos y cuyo medio es la inclinación y el extiende hasta las circos a la cual las con las osas dos prísimas. Dos polos. So they're talking about the poles, the earth poles, esta de colar y los que con alguna razón de se quieren decías desevitar por alguna desde blanca no la toleró. So basically they're just they're talking about traveling through these energies, que todo lo no se podían evitar. They said they can't quite understand about that, just how it works. Lo sabemos por las razones que es hablando escondía, decimos y la acción que demonstración, pero ¿por qué el fuerte que desde dos noticias de espera se saca? Okay, so yeah, they're talking about astronomy basically and the way the Earth works. And I mean, I did a good job at translating it because again, it's old Spanish. So let me see this image here. What is this talking about? I'm not gonna be able to read all of them, but I will channel them just like I did, and then I read them and they were accurate. These are talking, okay, this is talking directions. Oh, look at that. I'm getting goosebumps. Okay, do you see that? This is the travel right here. And these are basically dimensions and timelines. An axis is that you could reach on Earth. Okay, so think about like how advanced these civilizations would need to be in the 1500s, because what? They make us seem like we were like, just, in push wagons and stuff like that, right? So this humanity evolved all the way to Tesla time, where, there were flying blimps and more ether, connecting to the energy, self-sustainable, electricity, all that, right? So here they're showing traveling through that. Okay. All right. Okay. I hope you guys are finding this as interesting as I am. And I'm not boring you all, but I think it's quite phenomenal to look at this and to be able to translate it, because we often look at these things, right? And we're like, what does that even mean? So here's another one. So Tessa's saying this is another example of how those lines, remember all those lines that go like that, how they intersect. Whoa. And so these are more examples. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna skip over to which ones I need to show you. Here we go, here we go. Okay, so let's see what else we could look at. Oh, so there's Africa again upside down, right? Yep. Okay. Europe. So this is just basically giving you the lines to 1, 2, where's the numbers? 2, 3. So okay. This is basically telling you the different locations. Alexandria, is that a location, guys? Rodom, Roman, so on. Okay, so these names we're not even going to understand, right? Because a lot of these names have been changed in our Earth's history. This one I found. This one I did look at this one briefly last night, but let me see it again. Oh, okay. Wow, look at that, you all. Wow. So this looks like a firmament and a pole, and this is the pole it says here. And the different, I'm thinking that the major planets that we call planets, but really are major constellations here and how they're working. And then see these numbers here? All the maps have them. 30 degree, 20 degree, 10 degree, 60, 80, 90 degree. Okay. All right. So again, really advanced. So let me see what else here. So much to talk about, you all. Yeah, these are all different. Okay, I want to see this one. And this goes on for on and on and on, y'all. Like, look, this is 36 out of 717. I obviously can't go into that, so I'm probably gonna have to end it at this tab because I still have more that I need to talk to you guys about. So here's the star that we've been seeing all over the maps. And this is like a portal, an actual portal, like a clock. You can say how a clock works, and it's got the dials in it, right? So this tells us of how this star energetically works at all these different locations in the on Earth. Okay. And those are the different names. So this goes into the 16-point star, and then there's more names to every single one of these points. That is an amazing star. Wow. Okay, powerful. So, well, let me see what it says here. Cuarenta, which means like four, like qua, four. Siete, which should be seven. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. So this is 12, right? 3, 6, 9, 12. So these are 12, and then the bottom 16. For those of you who've done our courses, wow, powerful numbers, how we talk about them. Okay, siete del libro segundo de Plemio, que todo lo que se pide trato pero algo nos da algo. Okay, so they said that this is called demostración. So this is a demonstration de los vientos. Oh, they're talking about the winds. So the winds, what we talked about, the winds, how they, okay. So here they are. Demostración de los vientos y ondas de los según los grupos. Demostración de los vientos y ondas de los según los latinos. Okay, so this was telling you about the different portals. So this is the one in Latinos, and this is in Gregos, wherever that's on Earth at that time. Okay. And this is in los luego but remember all those names, you all, that were on the maps. So these are different, basically they're telling you access points to the locations you're going to get to. So seems like these portal energies were different in different locations on Earth, which makes sense that they wouldn't all be the same. So this is more of a earthly construct, and then this is a universal construct to leave portal out. Okay, energetically. So watch CERN. You know, CERN is not a god video because we talk about some of this. Basically, I explain more of the time travel and the way Earth is within a clock in that video, and you don't want to miss that video. CERN is not a god. Okay. All right. So back to this, and then I have to show you other maps. But let me see if there's anything else here. Well, let's go back. Actually, I want to see, what is this? What is this? Why are there names here? Okay, what does it say? Los autores de que en la obra presenta principalmente. So these are men, okay? Nos so principal men de nos vemos así otros que la mismos. So basically it's like leading men that are signing this. Okay. I guess, you know, confirming what they've spoken. So I'm going to show you though, how did they get this information in upcoming maps. I got to figure out where I put it at. We'll get to it. Okay. What is this? So this is talking about the coast of Brazil. Okay. I wanted to see this one next though. Which is, I think that's, is that Africa, Brazil? I think it's Brazil, yeah. So, okay, so what's really cool about this one, you all, is that basically they don't just show you the map. So they talk about it. They explain. So all the pages go into explaining what you're seeing. Okay? So we've got some African maps here, down here, which we're going to be going into. So here's an African map here, right? Of the, is this Africa? Looks like, yeah, Ethiopia. So this is Africa. All right. So this is Sahara, right? This is supposed to be Sahara. It's all, something's happening here. This is a cool map I want to show you here because look, again, there's portal energy happening. Now, if you look here, these are probably some of those names that are mentioned there. So not only are they mentioning the location, but they're mentioning some of the, say, rulers, I guess. And yeah, so let's look at this area here. And let me show you a couple videos because this is now a desert, right? So according to this, in 1539, it was not a desert. It was a civilization. And I have more pictures, more maps to show you actual civilizations in that area. But for now, let me show you. So now that we're starting to talk about the Kalahari Desert area, listen to this video. This person did a really good job explaining it. So let's go into that. Let me share that for you. So, and I'll explain what I need to here as I share it. Here we go.
Hello. It turns out that I didn't know anything about the Skeleton Coast in Namibia. First of all, the Skeleton Coast is part of the Namib Desert, which extends from Angola through Namibia to South Africa. It's thought to be the oldest desert in the world, between 55 and 80 million years old. The Skeleton Coast specifically is on the northern part of this.
Okay, so we see how it looks like now, right? So where was that tab? Where were you? Okay, but we see that that's not accurate, and I'll show you a couple maps later. Okay. All right, so listen to what it looks like now, and we see how it's destructed, right? It's what just like we talked about in the first one. So there's been nuclear, right? Part one, nuclear bombs and wars that have been erased that we don't know of. Okay, so look at how it looks now.
This enormous desert. The morbid name of the coast comes from the whale and seal bones that once.
Yeah, a lot of death there, you all. Giants as well.
Littered the shore from the whaling industry. However, in modern times, there's an infamous ship graveyard that exists here in the sand. Over the centuries, thousands of ships have ended up stranded here, and it's for a very specific reason. The geography of this region is strange. Hot, dry air from the interior of the continent and the desert blows west, combining with the cold, wet air from Antarctica via the Benguela Current. The hot, dry winds act as a cap, preventing the cold, wet air to form rain clouds. Instead, there's fog, and a lot of it. For 180 days of the year, there's a dense fog on the Skeleton Coast, which is how so many of these ships end up running aground, the oldest of which is from the 1500s, when the
1500s, you all, which is accurate. So it seems that after the 1500s, somewhere around the 1500s, there was this was targeted, and that's why she explained that there's ships there from then, because that was, say, the end of that era where it was nature and, you know, like a regular land versus you know, desolate deserted area, desert that you can't get into because it's dangerous.
Intense surf would have prevented anyone from getting back into the water. Sailors stranded on this isolated coast would only have one choice, making their way through the desert, which should not be taken lightly considering that some of the sand dunes are almost 1,000
Uh,
feet high.
1,000 feet high, you all. Something big happened here, huh?
Despite its penchant for death, the Namib Desert is actually incredibly biodiverse, and it has more endemic species than any other desert in the world. And luckily, Namibia has made almost the entire coastline a protected national park. So I don't want to be a castaway on the Skeleton Coast, but I do want to visit Namibia.
Good video. Thank you for sharing that. Whoever made that, appreciate you. Okay. Wow. We're also going to go into Nelson Mandela. We have lots to cover today. Hoping that we'll get done in an hour and a half, but we don't know. We'll flow. We don't know. We'll flow. And okay. So we're starting to speak about that lower area there. All right. So let me keep sharing here. So we're gonna have to move on from that one that's 700 and something pages, right? Because we will be here all day. But I've done a good job to get to the pages that I needed to share with you all of it. Okay. All right. So we understand that. So that's that that video was so good explaining. Okay, so let's see, what was it that I wanted to show here? So what year is this map from? 1544. Okay. And Brazil again, we'll talk later. There's another map that was, it's interesting too, the way they show America, because I mean, they show it like it's more horizontal, which to me that would make more sense, versus the way it's more vertical on the coast. Because I felt like when we were here, say in South Carolina over here, we could literally see the UK across. We could see the firmament, the stars rising up from the firmament. Okay, so I think that's all I wanted to show here. Yeah, let me move on to the next tab. I wanted you to see the, okay, so here again, there's no desert, y'all. Here it is. So this map is from even, so let's see, 1725. Is there a desert yet? No, not even in 17. So, it looks like that war might have lasted a couple years. So starting from 1500, because at 17, what was it, 1725, there is still, it's not a desert. There's civilizations, there's cities, there's, you know, all of that here. Now we're looking over here down at South Africa too. Yeah, because South Africa is right here at the tip. No, it's down here where Nelson Mandela was the president at. Okay, so we'll go into that later. Okay, so let's see if there's anything else I want to show you on this map. So again, right, like I showed you in the first video, this is all desert, this is all desert. Some of those images, this is not a desert. There is life here. This one here though, it's already a desert. So we talked about it in the first video here. This, it looks like there's already a desert. So something has happened since from 1500 to 1700, where now it's starting to be a desert. Okay, so let's go to the next one. All right, what I want to show you to this one is, wow, look at this, you all. We're literally looking at the energetic consistency of the way the energy flows on Earth, okay? Time travel. So we're looking at 1367 in this map. So it's supposed to be, you know, coast, Northwest Africa and Western Europe, okay? Now there's so many vortex energies going everywhere. Look at, I just wanted you to see how this is gridded. Wow. Okay. All right. Next one. Go to the next one. Here we go. Is another map, and this one's from 1507. And it's a world map. And there's Africa again. Okay. Looking at this briefly. It just looks so different, huh? Right than the now. Okay. And then there's an example. These are both worlds here. Both sides of the worlds, or both the whole spheric energetic world. Spheric energetically we are, but in the 3D we're flat plane of existence, right? Okay. So cool map. Next one here, I want to show you guys here is, okay, this one is from 1519. And this is the North Atlantic Ocean. Yeah. North Atlantic Ocean. So we're seeing animals, humans there on the left. So this is the center. This is the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, and this might be either Ireland or UK there. Okay, and then this is pointing to Spain, Europe, and Africa here. So what I want to show you here, what are these maps? See these flags? What do they represent? It seems like some kind of like agreement, like, because they look like they are all the same maps. It's like kind of like a treaty is what they're saying among all the leaders. What that flag represents there. Let's look at this flag though. Misunderstanding. Oh, that's cool. Okay. They're like forms of treaties, of agreements. Okay, next one. I just thought this was a pretty cool map. I really love the depictions to the areas that we're looking at here. What are we looking at? So this is Mediterranean Sea, 1519. So we got Asia there. So look at that probably a little bit later. We see Africa, so we're gonna look at Asia later. But look, you all, these are not like, you know, these are not cities that are like primitive, you all. This is like developed cities. Okay. Look at them. These are beautiful. And they all have those lines that connect one another. This is Arabia. Wow. So these artists did a beautiful job of like depicting what it looked like before. You know, those ruins that we'd look at and now are just really destroyed. This is Armenia. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Was that Europe? No, this is Yeah, you are. Wow. Okay, let's keep going here. Because again, we could be here forever. Each one of these maps is like a whole like story, right? Of what they have to say. French, Francia there. All right, we'll stick with Africa though. Okay, next one. Here, what did I want to share here? Let's see. And this is from 1478, so even older. So it looks like, doesn't quite tell me where. It just says that who the artist is. But let's see what I want to show you guys here. Again, here's the numbers. Those numbers that represent the degrees on Earth. So interesting though is that, where does it go? So it goes from 10. See how it has it starts from, I don't know what number, whether it's a 4 or 9 there, but 10, 20, 24, 30, 34. 44. Are they going in fours? Not really. Okay, but and they go say 180. So we're looking at something that's kind of like ruled like a ruler, right? Because a ruler would go from 0 to say 180 degrees versus if it was really spheric, it would be different. It wouldn't, it would just kind of like go back to the same number. But it just keeps going higher and higher, the numbers in degrees. So we're looking at Arabia. So kind of Arabia Desert there. Okay, so next tab here. Yeah, so we talked about that one already. Next one here. Look at this, you all. We can talk about this later, but I just want to give you guys a little sneak peek to this. Like, what is this? There's a queen and a king. And apparently, they were rulers of Italy? What? So, it seems like Italy was some kind of island for... Oh, there was a movie, a little kid movie. What was that called? Where there were mermaids. Oh my god, you all. So, what year is this? 1570. I forgot the name of it, but there was a movie about it, a young boy, and there was like mermaids, and oh, he was a mermaid and he wanted to be human. And yeah, let me know in the comments, Gina, let me know if you figure out what the name of that movie is. But wow, okay, so that is... Okay, we'll talk about that later, but I feel like there's something important about them here that I wanted to just kind of like give you guys a little sneak peek about. Look at them. Look at the detail to that. How they look as these mermen and mermaid. And, he's got the Triton here in the Mediterranean Sea. Okay, go back to that sometime later. We'll see when. All right, so the other maps that I found, which was awesome, is I found these maps here in this. There's 168 again pages of this one, okay, and by Claude Plaglemmy Alexandrini, okay, 1478, and this is in Latin. This whole book here. Again, Atlas of the World. Wow. So look at this, you all. So 1400. So remember what we talked about in the first video, how we said how it's not really 1400. It's not a 1. It's like a J. So technically it's 14. This is technically 14. Not 1478, it's 478. So again, reset of Atlantis was 0, and we're at 478 after Atlantis fell and the virus. Okay, so we're at 478. Look at this, you all. These are flames. These are these eternal flames. So watch the Aurora Borealis video. We'll add links again so you can understand what we're talking about, the eternal flames and that. Okay, so you're seeing them in the map here, and there's several maps that I found with these flames located and where they were at. And then I don't know if it tells me exactly. This one doesn't tell me exactly about this item. Let's see that. About this item. It just says his name. Known as Plotomy. This exact location doesn't tell me here. That's okay. Well, let's go back to it. Okay, so I just want to show you that those represent the eternal flames in the different parts of Earth. There's one here, there's one here. Okay, so there's physical proof to understand. It's so interesting. It's just so beautiful to see the world through the centuries of Earth, and to be able to like look at these maps of the ancestors and all, you know, and like we explained, we were those people back then because we're the incarnations of them again. Okay, so there's flames, the eternal flames. Look at this one. This is in Italy as well, somewhere. But again, it doesn't tell me the exact location. I would have to go through each. So yes, because that's the book of 228 pages. Anyways, look at this. Something really important there. And this looks like, if we could figure out where this is at. Let's see if we could, there's a name that we could recognize. No, there's not a name. That's okay. Okay, so all right, continue on here. Oh, look at this. Okay, well, you've seen them on TikTok or different locations. Look at this, guys. This is Stellar Gateway. When I was channeling, who was I channeling? I was channeling remote viewing, which you want to go check that out. Part 2 is going, we're gonna not be here in Rumble, we're gonna be under Patreon, Rising Phoenix Aurora, next live Friday. Part 2 to Grand Canyon. So go sign up to that now, which is only $8 tier, and you can actually get that remote viewing, Tesla, Abraham Lincoln, which are all basically have been developing to really put all the puzzle pieces together. We channeled Abraham Lincoln and Tesla there. Okay, so this is a lot of that wheel of time travel. So this is an actual time traveling machine there that they're depicting in this island. Okay, so I just want to show you an image of it. It's pretty cool. Okay, and then does this one tell us? So this was a map for 1539, and it doesn't quite tell us. Looks like maybe somewhere in Spain, perhaps. Okay, next tab. Okay, so here we go, you all. So if you Google and you look up, how is it that that somebody was able to illustrate this with data? Like, how did they do that? Okay, like, because if you Google like when the first airplane flew, you know, it says 1907, you all. That is ridiculous. Okay, we've been talking about Tartara, right? And how they've been flying for a long time. 1539, you all. Here's the proof. Right here. So one of the pages to these different islands of 717 islands, the first really big book that I showed you guys, it says here that the ways that these were documented in this specific section was by a pilot named Esteban Gomez. Thank you, Esteban. We love you. Or Esteban Gomez. What? All right. Drop the mic. Boom. You are. Pilots, of course. How else could we have documented maps like this? It's not like you could like walk around, right? Like you're not gonna just like walk around Earth and like guess, oh, this in this direction here looks like it does curve like this. No, you have to get a higher perspective, all right? Obviously, a bird's eye view, a eagle view of this, a pilot, guys, in the 1500s that was flying. All right, there we go. Again, archive maps. Okay, so this next image, just thought it was pretty beautiful. This looks like a floating city because you go up it. And we talked about in Tartaria how they did have floating cities. And this is a map from 1539. Again, one of those 700 islands. And it's called Andre. This city is called Andre up here in the clouds. Which we're going to talk about at this point. So we're talking about some of these floating cities and the way these minerals work. Let me show you a video that someone found under Telegram. It's kind of hard for me to share, but we were talking about, right, like in Africa. But it's okay. I can share it. So let me load that. Okay, so we're talking about these different minerals that this civilization was targeted and why, right? Like they bombed them, nuclear bombed them, and then to try to take over them. And a lot of them were really kind of wiped out, right? Okay. So the reason, one of the reasons why Africa looks like this now, right? Because this is right here, the Sahara Desert, is because some of these minerals that are very special in Africa, and these people fought against them. But here, so thank you to the person who found this under my Telegram group and shared it there so I could share with you guys. Okay, so here's one of the minerals that I did remote view and talked about them, and it's the silver one. Okay.
So, qui m'appelle? Ça va, okay.
Look, guys.
Okay. Très bien.
Electricity. This is a piezoelectric mineral, crystal, mineral rock, whatever.
Tosha, Tia. Très bien. Ça, Tosha, Tia.
What? Whoa. Okay. So thank you for that video. Let me see if there's anything else I gotta share with you guys. I think that was it for that. Okay. Let's keep going with these maps. So boy, have they lied to us, huh? Like these Mayans, I mean, they had ways to fly, that they could teleport from different locations by that wheel that I showed you, that image. They could portal in and out of these locations, you all. Fly, go on sea, whatever. Okay, next one. Just gonna keep going here. What I have loaded. A little bit more of what these cities look like, you all. Wow. Another city. This is Spain. Looks like 1539. This is 111 maps, so that's 717 pages. Okay, so this is another map here, which is 1559. Sounds like 1500s was really important, huh? Really important. Something's going on there that started these different beginning wars, and we've been covering it. We've been talking about it through the series. So let's look at this. What map is this? So this is Europe. Okay, good. It tells us here coast Western Europe and Northwest Africa. Okay, So again, there's that star. That's so important. Okay, you could really literally align this point to where you want to go, like a dial. What? Oh, 1559. Why do they have Mother Mary depicted in 1559? Because that means that, because we've been talking about that like a couple hundred years ago. Time is hard to tell, but it looks like she's birthed her child at that time. So 500, not like this is right. We're like in AD, not BC, 500. Okay, there's an angel, just kind of a saint with her, which I went to the Art Institute, and let me show you guys saints. So there's a reason why they called them saints, because they were giants, y'all. Let me show you proof of that. Okay, so here in the Art Institute, okay, so she's a saint here. You see, this regular sized people, and she's giant because she's a giant. So, and they would call them saints. So these saints were giants, actually. So she is, I'm trying to remember where it said. So this is what the title of this painting is: Trip of the Virgin and Child with Saints. Did I save the one? Oh, that's Shiva. Okay. Let's see. And these were basically saints. They're giant females. And that's the Oracle of Delphi. Look at that, how that looked like. Wow, that was beautiful. I have a course on the Oracle of Delphi, and I channeled her. So check that out. 1673. Okay. All right. But I just want to show you that. There you go, you all. She was a saint. Her name was on here. That's her name. Saint Beresla. So I feel like some of those names on the map are giant names. Yep, that's what I'm seeing now. So, yep, giant saints, whatever you want to call them. Okay, back to this. Whoa, Mother Mary. Okay, let's go back to that. Okay, so we're still on this map of 15. I have discovered when Yeshua was born, guys. That totally makes sense. 1500s. Okay, which 500s? Oh, my feet are completely numb right now. They both fell asleep just talking about that. Oh, they're tickling. Okay, so the angels, look at that, and they're just singing. Probably here, but who are you? You are not good. So there's the Roman Catholics, and the tyranny over her. Okay. And so the Art Institute of Chicago, and just about all the paintings, there's like paintings of Yeshua, Jesus is crucified, and he's crucified, and it's so sad it's crucified. Okay. So this is, what was this? Yeah, Europe and Northwest Africa. Okay. So these are some of the depictions of the men that are ruling it then, which is again why I thought that it was really important that we saw the female with the male ruling, because look at this, you all. A female's not there with a male. What's up with that? Well, that's rubbish. So, a unicorn. Oh, look at the pretty unicorn, and that looks like a griffin. Definitely a griffin there. So that looks like, wow, there we go. They were real. Of course, we already know that. What the heck is that? You all? That guy's an alien. Yeah, you are I don't know what to say about that. So yeah, okay. Wow, look at these. This is just so amazing. Looking at these. Wow, they have a griffin here. Oh, like an aisle here. Okay, next one. I gotta take your questions too. All right, so we're at what are we at? 1575. Another map in 1575. These were some of these maps. I'll show you. There's like monsters, sea monsters. I don't know if there's one in here, but I'll try to keep an eye out. Again, still. Oh, there's starting to be a little, yeah, desert area there, but not fully. We're looking at South Africa, so we're gonna go into Mandela. That area is not a desert yet. Okay. And then we have this one too. So let me stop for a minute though. Because so what is this? Oh, so this is the this is it. This is basically the atlas from the charts of the old world to new world. This is supposedly Antarctica, but the outworlds. And we will go into that next time. Okay, but we see some Africa images here too. Let's look at the African ones since we're talking about Africa today. Okay. This book is how many pages? Well, there's 65, I think, pages. Okay. Is this Africa? Let's look. Oh, it's Brazil. Okay, we'll look at that next time. Brazil. I think this is Brazil, yeah. Mexico, Brazil. This looks like Africa. What is this? Is this Africa or Mexico? It doesn't quite tell you, but so this is Portuguese, 1580. So let's try to figure out what this is. This might still be. I think if this is Brazil, South Africa. I mean, South America. Let's go back here. And what else do I have to show you guys? Or it might be Africa. Let me see. See, it's interesting how they call it the old world and the new world after 1500s, right? There's that. What happened? Why is it a new world? So this looks like Africa, yeah. Yeah. See if there's anything else I gotta show you guys here, and then we're gonna start talking some more about Nelson Mandela and answering questions. Okay. So what was so incredible about Nelson Mandela? Let's find the map here. Is that looking at this original map, right? We're just wild, right? Down here, South Africa's down here. So let's talk a little bit about him. So, right, he was in prison 25, 27 years, right? In an actual jail for that long, just because he was standing up against the control of humankind in Africa. And so it's called, what's it called? There's a name for it. Apartheid. And basically we're in Africa before in 1990 all those eras. So he was speaking up about it. There was basically segregation, where there was whites and blacks being separated, and yeah, there's a troller, huh? Somebody's trolling. Can you block them? Okay, hater, troll. Wow, you're a robot if you keep writing fart over and over and over. Ridiculous. So let me see. You're not able to stop them? It looks like, yeah, you guys removed them. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the immaturity of these people who have, see, that's a perfect example of someone who pressed the button to nuclear bomb Africa, would write fart over and over in our live chat. Ridiculous. Yeah, so it's okay. Once more, we don't consent, so keep on moving. Okay, so back to this. So we're looking at this map here. Okay, so Nelson Mandela was fighting the fight. Right? We've actually made a video about the Mandela effect so that we could understand what happened there. So, but he ended up being released from jail, and he became the president. And he became a president for 4-year term till 1989. And he was going against basically, to read it here, the apartheid system of racial segregation that was in place in South Africa. And so that's where he was a president from, at the lower bottom of the map where I showed you. So this was actually in effect all the way down to the 1990s when it was finally removed. And actually that president in that time period is who actually finally freed Nelson Mandela for being a spiritual revolutionist in that time, a revolutionist, a truth seeker, incarcerated for that. And it was all basically Caucasian white ruled before that. South Africa was ruled by that. After that, though, every single president after Nelson Mandela has been a darker skin, African, Nubian skin. Okay, so then, yeah, so that's why, yeah, he was given a Nobel Peace Award, which was beautiful that he was able to at least be recognized in that form, not that he needed it, he says. I hear him talking. So, but yeah, that was really beautiful. I mean, let's see. Just got a couple videos of him talking. So if we're talking about Africa, we definitely have to talk about him and his beauty. So, light worker. So here's a little video of him. So here he is. And
one of the mistakes which some political analysts make is to think that their enemies should be our enemies. As I have said, we have many Jews, members of the Jewish community in our struggle, and they have occupied very top positions. That does not mean to say that the enemies of Israel are our enemies. We refuse to take that position. You can call it being political or a moral question, but for anybody who changes his principles depending on whom he is dealing, that is not a man who can lead a nation.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, I'm gonna share that with you guys there. All right. So he's talking about already Jewish Israel regime, something's going on there.
Let us move on to our next questioner at the microphone over there. Welcome to America, Mr. Mandela. I'm Ken Edelman. Those of us who share your struggle for human rights and against apartheid have been somewhat disappointed by the models of human rights that you have held up since being released from jail. You've met over the last 6 months 3 times with Yasser Arafat, who you have praised. You have told Gaddafi that you share the view and applaud him on his record of human rights.
So we know about Gaddafi. We've talked about him during the series as well. Who, you know, they had their own people turn against him, and they dragged him, and killed him.
His drive for freedom and peace around the world.
Who was a president?
And you have praised Fidel Castro as a leader of human rights and said that Cuba was one of the.
Now, I don't know about Fidel Castro, but Gaddafi was positive.
Countries that's head and shoulders above all other countries in human rights, despite the fact that documents of the United Nations and elsewhere show that Cuba is one of the worst. I was just wondering, are these your models of leaders of human rights? And if so, would you want a Gaddafi or an Arafat or a Castro to be a future president of South Africa?
One of the mistakes which some political analysts make is to think that their enemies should be our enemies.
Oh, so it's this. Oh, okay, so it's the question. Okay, it's the same question it's the question that led to the answer that we recorded. Okay, beautiful. Wow. So yeah, we could listen to Nelson Mandela and all that he had to share for a long time. So thank you to him and his fight, and really awakening so many people on Earth. Something really interesting too is that there's since we're talking about Africa, this would be fun to share. There's a location in Africa that's actually Spanish speaking.
Did you know Equatorial Guinea is the only Spanish speaking country in Africa? In 1471, a Portuguese navigator sighted the island of Bioko, and it became a hub for trading captured slaves, who the Portuguese sent to France, Spain, and England. In 1777, the Portuguese gave the rights to the mainland coast to Spain. Then the British Crown authorized the colony 260 emancipation. In those years, the island began to receive independence.
So I should share that. And okay, so let's go into some of these questions. We've covered so much today. I hope that you really loved the show today. Write in the comments, hit like before we finish the live video. But let's see what questions you guys have. And then we'll read out your comments. So the first question is, will the area of the Grand Canyon rise up and bloom like before the reset? Oh, that's a good question. Well, let's add that to the Grand Canyon channeling that we're going to talk about next Friday under Patreon. Okay, so areas throughout the world connected. So if we are going to help heal the area, can it also be spread to the other areas that were also bombed? Yes, they can. So they would be connected, and yes, you can connect to them. What were we talking about? There was somewhere else, Mongolia. There's a desert area there. We'll talk about that in the next part to this series. We're going to go into like how we did to part 1 to this one. So we're going to go into like who he was. It's going to tell his story. It's going to be explosive. Make sure that you are there for so that'll be part 3 to the series. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's see what else you guys have here. So yes, entity removal. That's one of the main reasons why we teach, major reasons why we teach entity removal through A.U.R.A, hypnosis, and raw Reiki entity removal, is because we have to remove the trauma, and the trauma is going to hold the entities, the AI, the nanos, attachments within people. I was looking, I was at the Art Institute, and there was like this Navy, yeah, 2 females, and man, they were dense. One of them had like the spider entity attached, and she was literal this Archon spider, and it had these like, you know how the spiders come out when their legs like that, and they were just trying to like grab onto people and web them everywhere they walked. So it's like, how can you, you have to stand up against these entities that are hiding in people. And you all book book 1 and book 2 to really understand entities and the aliens that are attached to people or trying to control humankind, and really the main reason why we're so dense and we can't ascend out. Okay, so yeah, that's why we entity removal is honestly you all number one, because if we can't like raise the vibration on Earth, and then sacredly too, because I mean some people are doing it really kind of dangerously, and you could read the books to understand that, with all the stories that the people have shared with us, because I'm alone in past life regression sessions, which took each one 4 to 5 hours. I'm at over 600 sessions, you all. So that's a lot of sessions, a lot of data that we've collected from all these different beautiful peoples from all over Earth that have been shared it with us. So wow. So think about that, like regaining the memory and consciousness of that, and what caused these nuclear wars and these deserts to happen. Okay, so I mean, if we were flying in an airplane then, I mean, logging the different shapes and different how each continent, country, or island, as they called them then, are to what degree, it's just incredible. Yeah. Okay. So the next one is yeah, so we'll talk about the questions you guys have about Grant. So you're asking about, like, is the Grand Canyon to a portal to Africa, and we're going to explain that next Live Friday video. Okay, what that for next time. So why the dark clouds on the first map? Oh, why dark clouds on the first map? Dark clouds first map. Trying to find the dark clouds you're talking about in the first map. Yeah, I don't see the dark clouds. So my apologies, I won't be able to answer that because I don't get the question. Okay, because I'm not seeing them. Oh, image 28. No, wait, what? Why? They're close in the first map. Well, the first map was this one, y'all, right? So who's asking this question? First map was this one. Dark clouds here? Am I not seeing them? It's just like there's smudges on here. Is that what we're talking about? Or what kind of dark clouds? Try to re-explain that if you can. Okay. Next one is the one with the heads, maybe. Third map. Okay, so not the first one then. Look at the third one. Dark clouds. Well, there is clouds in this one, but I don't think they're meant to be dark clouds. They basically represent the wind. So these beings represent the wind. So how many are there? 3, 6, 9, 12. 12. I think that's what you're talking. So the clouds represent wind, the wind gods. Okay, next one. So, but why does the solar system end with Saturn? Ah, there's a portal behind Saturn. Yeah, I agree with you. Okay, next one is the traveling process. It's hard because people say Saturn is negative. I don't really see any star that has celestial energy as negative. There's an organic blueprint. Now, are there dark aliens in different parts of these celestial embodiments? Yes, they are, but you can't classify a whole star cluster as Saturn as negative. Can't do that. It's like saying all of Earth is negative, because the parasites, the entities, are on Saturn, perhaps. I feel like it's really evolved since then, people saying that. So yeah, Earth is not all negative, Saturn is not all negative. It's just that they got entities on them. And that's what we're doing here on Earth. We volunteered to forget ourselves, to have amnesia, to come into the lowest density of the third dimension, to remember so long with that. There's so much distractions and false information in the third dimension that are really just gonna really kind of steer us away from the truth. Okay, so yeah, so I have to say about the Saturn. So the next one is a traveling process across planets more important during a planetary alignment? Definitely. Yes. So portal dates, planetary alignment. I mean, but there was a planetary alignment. So they tend to target like what was that, June 3rd? There was supposed to be an alignment. Well, I mean, yesterday I looked up at the star and I was looking at the sky app that I show you guys, especially through the Mayan app that and all the planets were aligned to the sun. All of them. So I mean, they're aligning all the time, y'all. Okay, so yes. Why are they aligning? The water has changed. The earth is changing. The fire has changed. The water has changed, you all. Have you all noticed that, I don't know, within the last week, the water changed? The water is denser and it's more plasmic and it stays on you like lotion would. It soaks in. It's thicker of a consistency. And when I asked about it, because I was worried, I was like, what the what are they doing in the water? They said, the angels, divine source said that it's returning. She's returning. The water's returning back to the original form where it's more plasma versus just liquid that kind of would, sure, it would soak in, but it would just kind of fall off. So pay attention to the water. Also, the flames, the fire have changed. So when you look at the flames and you look at it like this with your eyes like, like out of focus, like this, in between, we teach this, so in between, you can actually see all color flames in the fire. Did you guys notice that? I noticed that just yesterday. Okay, so yeah, we're always evolving. It's so incredible, y'all, to be on this earth and watching her evolve. Oh my goodness. And we're growing, and the more that we see these different changes within the water or the fire, so which means that all elements have transformed, because it's all elements, right? So all of them have leveled up. So then the soil has leveled up, and so has the wind, earth, fire, water, wind, right? So pay attention, talk to them, and heal yourself some more. We have a course this month on Archangel Raphael. He's going to teach us how to heal ourselves, trauma, and just overall how the DNA and the body works energetically. So you want to sign up to that course under Patreon as well. In all my courses that I've taught, the Oracle of Delphi, all those that I mentioned, the Mayan cymatics and the Mayans, how to remove toxic people, how to manifest, so all those you can find them on my website, risingphoenixaura.com. Okay. So yeah, planetary alignments are definitely, I feel like if there was a planetary alignment when they were traveling through these portals, that they would just kind of move faster, more efficient, speed up time of moving through time and space. Okay, image 19 of Atlas with portalim charts of the Old World, New World, 1580, also has some blue ink in it. Why? Okay, let me try to figure that one out. Oh my goodness, which tab was that? Image 19 of Atlas. Okay, let me look. Image 19. You guys are paying attention really good. That's 19. No, that's not 19. Okay. Bear with me, I gotta find it. So why do they have blue ink? You're asking. Let me see. Well, there's the clouds, right? That represents that blue there. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find image 19 because I've shared so many. It's gonna be hard to narrow it down to that. And I don't know if I still have it loaded. Yeah, my apologies, I'm not gonna be able to find it. That's okay. I'll try to remote view what you're talking about. Depends if was that blue ink represented as was it represented as, could have been represented as water or represented as air? I'm gonna look more of the sea creatures next time, because we'll look at that maybe when we talk about Italy, because there are so many sea creatures in all of these that the military are monitoring that are still in the waters now. Okay, next question is, are all these stars tree portals? They are. Yeah, all those stars are definitely tree portals, which yeah, thank you. Absolutely. Yep. Tree portals. We've talked about that in A.U.R.A regression, the trees of Tartaria, which will explain to you why that question is accurate. Okay, that's found again under Rumble or any of my platforms, that A.U.R.A regression. Again, trees of Tartaria. Add the links later. Next one is, someone said there's a mountain range here in South Africa that is very mysterious. Drakensberg Mountain. It looks like it was some kind of formation. I don't know if it was some kind of structure. And let me tell you what that is. We can figure it together here. We're just about done for today, you all. We did amazing again. Okay. Loading. Second. Let's look at the images. Share here. Okay. So South Africa is over on this side, huh? So amazing. Wow. Okay. Wow. So let me look at this image closer. Drakensberg. So there's Nivea that we're talking about. Okay, wow. So what was your question about that? So what is that about? Wow. Oh, that's the other thing I had to show you guys. Okay, thank you for asking this question. Let me try to find the map here. Okay, so some of these mountains basically are connected to each other, and they're portals. They're tunnels. Let me try to find the map that showed that. Hold on. I missed that in the first go around. Unless it's in the Asia one that I'm going to talk about. If I can't find it here, it might be in the next video. You could, like some of these maps, basically, they connect a mountain to mountain. And there's lines connecting mountain to mountain. I think that's going to be in the next video. I'll show you guys in the next one. There's no way we can cover that right now. So yeah, we'll go into Asia next time around. So there is, in some of the maps I'll show you next time, which is a lot of maps I would have to go through to find. I haven't prepared that because that was going to be part of Asia. There is, wow, wait till next video again. So it's like they're connecting from point to point to point. It's a grid. So I feel that that's what that location is about. Okay, which there wasn't quite a map for that here that I was able to find. Okay. It's just basically civilizations that lived there. I mean, we saw this world was filled with civilizations of people here. Someone said, not a question, but really feeling the intense energies coming in. Felt sad, angry, and today, and hopeful and happy to be here on planet. Is there anything in particular was going on? Ooh, okay. Let me see. What's going on? What's the day? Today's the 14th, June 14. So what is today at? 10/11/11, month and day. And then plus the 8 is 9. Yeah, definitely any date that adds up to the 9 we talked about in the Nikola Tesla, the 369, and how the 9 is the universe's number and it goes infinite. I have a quick little summary of it under my website. If you go check out, just go browse my website, and explaining what the 369 it's just a quick little paragraph, but you all like go watch Nikola Tesla channel so you could understand what the 369 means. So I think that's what you're feeling. You're feeling some of the 9 energies that come through. And here under my website here, yeah, so some of the crystal jewelry I saw. And right here under the malas, it explains, so if you want to read a summary of what the 9 means and how it doubles and goes on and on and on. Okay, check that out under my site. But otherwise, definitely go watch that. And let me see what other questions you have here. Someone says, comment, did you know that there are 2 profiles of AuroRa on Rumble? Could one be a fake? I think this one's fake. Oh, okay. I'll check that out. Great. Yeah, that's not me. I only have one, Rising Phoenix AuroRa, and then I have Cosmic Mother Rising. So guys, watch out for those fake profiles. That's not me. Oh, great. But it does have all the videos, just live videos on it too. Oh, I think, oh, no, that's me. That's me, but somehow, okay, you're good. That's me. That's like, basically they had to have me do a profile, and that's like my profile. So it's not fake, that's me. Don't flag it. Yeah, we're good. So it's like my profile to make the channels, something like that. All right, next one is oh, the child's movie is called Luca. Thank you, you all. You guys are good. That's the one with the France and the mermaids. Okay. Yes, love the maps. Okay. It's like I don't want to bore you guys with these maps. I hope I'm not boring you. I'm making it as interesting as I can, but I mean, this is stuff we gotta talk about, you all. Okay, thoroughly enjoy the newsletters. All right, awesome. Thank you. Next one is, that is definitely a star map for space traffic control navigation. Boom! Tell me about it, right? Yeah. Come on. This is like common sense. I mean, what else could it be? Lots of the flags in the first map with Two Griffin's Old Spanish flags. All right, thank you. So next one is, that is Earth's tilt towards the zodiac constellations. Yep, that's what it said. Wow, that map is upside down and looks like deliberately. Yeah, right? So why is it deliberately upside down? Why? Good question. Good comment. So why is it? Because they were looking at from the, say, north. So they haha, just saw the pilot. Okay, so the pilot that recorded that was, oh my god, like I see him, he's like flying on the north. So to him, if he's looking from the north, it would look down if he's going on the Urbano Monte map. So, all right, you guys understand? So like from his perspective, at the center of the earth, of course he's flying at the center of the north, which they call the North Pole. Okay, let me show you a map of what I'm talking about. Oh, you guys are so smart. You guys are amazing. Hey, I'm trying to make sure that I don't miss any details, but I love it when you guys, like, when I miss something, you guys bring me back to it, because I mean, higher selves are talking here. Higher self to higher self. You all, okay, so let's look at the map. I get excited about this stuff. Okay, so this Urbano Monte, right? 1500, 1570 maybe map. All right, so we're here. So he's flying and looking down at it. Down, okay? And that's how they're recording the maps. from, of course. I mean, you're not just gonna like, sure, you can just go fly around for many hours and just fly around. No, you can access it right here and look at, oh, okay. I can look this way and then look this way and then look this way and look that way. Genius, you all. So smart. Okay, so next one is comment. See, I love reading your guys' comments because you guys are so batty. All right, exactly. Next one is exactly. We are not supposed to know about Saturn in 1500. LOL. That's right. What? You look at history like, what was that? Yes, we did know. Next one is, these maps are fantastic. Thank you for showing and translating them for us. Yay! Okay. Awesome. Next one is, I think the coast where the desert is where they say many of the hurricanes originate from, where lots of sands come over US. I feel like there's something happening there. And what are we talking about? The Kalahari Desert now. Libya. There's something going on there. So it's like, see a nuclear bomb. Just like we explained in part 1. And then there's this kind of disruption. There's like a magnetic, it's like the Bermuda Triangle. So you know how we understand the Bermuda Triangle? And there are actual pyramids we've talked about in past videos under the water, okay? So there's something like that going on in Libya. And why does the water turn? Why is there no rain and just mist? There's heat. Because so somehow the environment is expelling out mist instead of water, rain. So okay, so how do we get mist, right? So it is the water in, say, boiling form, like a lot of boiling, and it becomes the mist, right? That comes, say you're cooking the pie, it's the mist. So what's happening there? There's this feels like this something really hot there that's creating the mist from inside the earth. So some additional healing for sure, guys, in Libya from the explosions that happened there. Okay. Yeah, good point there. Thank you for that. Yeah. Okay, the next one is from where lots of sands come over to the US at times. Wow. Okay, so the next one is the blue flags within golden crowns around. They call it Portuguese sea merchant flag. Oh, okay. So there we go. Thank you. So those are sea merchants. So which means that you go to port and, you know, like exchange, sell merchandise there in these flags. So you know, exchanges globally there. On the, thank you guys. Okay, pillars on the map look like the Strait of Gibraltar of Pillars of Hercules. Let's go back to that. I agree. So I couldn't quite go into that, but let me go into that since you are very accurate, they said. Okay, so let me try to find the map again. Map. Pillars. Where are you? There's something very big happening there in those pillars. Okay, so we saw the flames and we saw the pillars. So. Okay, here we go. It's like I'm seen as a god. It's like Greek gods in these pillars. Where is it? So there could have been saints, as they called them, or giants there. Yeah, and I agree with you. I do feel like Hercules had something to do with this here. Again, right, we found the flames in the maps. And it seems like they have different names on them. Okay, thank you. Good. I just keep seeing like energy, like a plasma energy here, portal. A plasma that's you go through. It's like you step into another part of the earth, but not. Reminds me a lot of the Grand Canyon energy. Portals and portals. Okay. All right, thank you for that. Next one. Plato described the locations of Atlantis as behind the Pillars of Hercules, which were the Atlas Mountains. Yeah, I agree. But then remembering Atlantis was everywhere, it just became Atlantis when it separated and it fell down the density. But Lumeria, so it's always been Lumeria. And all these different beings that we're talking about, like the inner earth Nubian beings that went into the inner earth, that were these giants all in Africa that were populating, you know, they were original Lumeria, and then they went through the descension into the fall of Atlantis and into where we're at in the times of spaces that we're currently in the last, say, century. Really, if you're going to measure time. Okay, next one is they noticed the nights are much lighter than they used to be. Yeah, they are very light. We talked about this in a video. I think the Aurora Borealis one. Yeah. Wasn't the black, next question, well, comment, wasn't the black anomaly 3 weeks ago going to that area of Nebia? I haven't looked into what the black anomaly is, so I'm gonna have to look into that. I don't know what that is. So make a note, Gina, we'll have to look into that. So Earth inside is like a honeycomb. Yeah. Can be, yes. Yep. Next one is, wow, connecting so many dots. I love these channelings. Oh, me too. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Okay. So apparently, yeah, we had 3 different spammers saying fart. Wow. Okay, next one. Okay, so we're good. All right, do I have any other questions, you all, before we finish up? I think we're good. All right. Whew, I was trying to talk as fast as I could to cover all that. Whoa, somehow we ran into almost 2 hours again. Okay, thank you all. Let's go. Genghis Khan, and we definitely have to cover Russia, Anastasia. What happened there, and her beauty and her family. So Genghis Khan next, though. Thank you. I love you all. Going to Asia, Mongolia area next time. Thank you. I'll see you perhaps next Friday. Otherwise, come see me in person at a retreat. Sedona, Grand Canyon, August, Lionsgate. Otherwise, July. Come, if you can't get to us in person, come learn to walk your most organic timelines, entity removal. Let's go. Let's move these dark entities out of the earth. Let's remove them with love or by source. Source by force. And you can learn that July workshop. Okay, so come learn. I love you, honor you, and respect you. Go to my website, risingphoenixaurora.com. You can find practitioners all over the earth too, under aurapractitioners.com as well, that practice the courses that I spoke about. Thank you. I love you. Thank you for being you. Share this video as far and wide as we can. I believe we're almost at 4,000 views for part 1, which is really good because they do mess with our numbers, even on Rumble. Because like on TikTok, at one point it said, I think it said we had 38 or 98, I don't remember which one, million views. When you go look at my TikTok, it's way off, and they're messing with my numbers. So whatever, they shadow ban me, whatever. So just keep sharing them. We know that the people are viewing them and seeing them. But come meet me. I love you, honor you, and respect you. And I'll see you next Friday. Otherwise, if you don't join us on the Patreon, you'll see me 2 weeks on Friday live video. And make sure you subscribe. So I have an aura regression coming up, which is pretty amazing. Oh, actually goes with the series where they were talking about Earth and some bombing and some parts of Earth that were nuclear bombed. So that aura regression will be coming out in the next week under all my platforms. So watch out for that. It's another more puzzle pieces for us. Thank you. See you guys. See y'all next time. Thank you. Have a beautiful weekend. My loves.